certainly lining him up, but he's wasting too much time.
We're looking at some of the awesome things you can do in WWE 2K24, like throw a chair at Hulk Hogan's face. But that's not all. One of the returning features this year was being able to pull the straps down on certain superstars. Yes, it is a minute, small detail, but ladies and gentlemen, we have been dying for these types of things, and this is the type of stuff that I'm really enjoying about this year's game. From The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, Big E, Braun Breaker, and others, you can pull the straps down at any point in the match. By holding down the right trigger and pressing down on the D-pad, you'll be able to pull this off. Get all fired up within like 8 seconds of the match. Now, the thing that I'm having a lot of fun with this year is ladder matches. From tag team ladder matches, turmoil ones, just going nuts with ladder matches. It's turned into a new fan favorite of mine, an oldie but a goodie, because there's a lot more I can do within a ladder match. One of the great things that 2K has done is being able to do moves off of the ladder to the announce desk. When you get your opponent positioned at the announcer's table, flick up on the stick, that's what she said, and then you'll be able to get them just lying down on the desk. Now, get them super damaged, because then they'll stay down longer. If you do it really early, they roll right off. Place a ladder wherever you like. A lot of people have like really far distance that they can actually hit with these things, and you can do full elbow drops off a ladder through the table. The other thing with ladder matches that I love this year is being able to do double title ladder matches. This works for singles titles. This also works for tag team titles, which is really awesome. So if you want to put the undisputed tag team belts on the line at WrestleMania like they're going to do, this is something that you can pull off yourself. But especially when you put 2 single titles on the line, the victory motion looks really, really cool. So I like that they updated this. It's a small little detail, but goes a long way. Now again, the announce desk, being able to do moves off of it, 1 or 2. It adds a lot. When you do climb up on the desk, one thing to note is that you can do regular moves and it won't necessarily break the table. So what's nice is being able to get you and your opponent up on the desk and then being able to do like a DDT and it just slams them through it and they roll off, and then you can jump off of that. But what's great this year too, instead of having to do like an OMG moment or just a finisher that you have stored and it's doing a whole sequence, we can get them on the announce desk, climb to the top rope, and do a moonsault, do a move right through the table. It gives you more of that hardcore element that I've been hoping for. And also, even if your opponent is standing on the desk, you can climb a ladder and you can do just a standing move and attack from the top of the ladder and they'll still go through the table. And we know that we can actually bridge the ladder across, right? Hold down on the triggers and then you're going to set up a whole ladder that is going to go across from the ring apron all the way to the barricade. But the breaking of the ladder is cleaned up. It just looks better and it's just a more effective move and sequence that you pull off and how they roll off of the ladder. You can still duck under the ladder and you can do multiple moves off of different ladders. It's great. Now, one fun thing that I discovered was a new element. You can argue with the referee this year. We have special guest referee and we can do tons of shenanigans, but with a straight up match, you can turn to the referee at any point, and as long as you target the ref, then you can press up on the D-pad and you're going to be able to start arguing with the referee. It ups the dynamic of your matches, and that's what I really like, so that I can do a near fall or come close to getting my opponent pinned, turn to the referee, and just start chewing them out. And then I gotta watch out because they might pull a finisher on me too. But other fun things you can do with referees this year, they fixed this. So now you can actually go and do finishers on the referee at any point. So last year we could pick up a ref, we could punch them, we could throw them out of the ring. Like, we're really hard on the referees, I gotta be honest. But it's really fun though if you want to be able to do that and be a nasty heel, or you're NWO Wolfpack Kevin Nash and you want to be able to do jackknife powerbomb onto the referee, now you can. Now if you do this, plus you up the downtime in the slider settings, you can increase the downtime of your referee, so they're going to be down for a while. So it is really fun. Super kick a referee to start a match and then just go bananas. Also, I mentioned this before in another video, but NWO Wolfpack theme is in the game, the Tron. It's under the Bray Wyatt NWO version. Apply it to the Wolfpack. You're gonna have fun. I love it. Too sweet. Now, as you saw with the thumbnail, you got Ultimate Warrior with just a ton of blood. And that's not all the blood. There's a lot of blood in the game. But the other piece that is really fun this year is the fading face paint. So when you take a superstar like Ultimate Warrior and deeper you go into the match, it starts sweating, it starts breaking off, it gets all broken and everything and shattered. It looks great and it starts fading. So the face paint that is fading, it works on custom created superstars, and it does work on wrestlers that have face paint in the game like Warrior. I tried with Doink the Clown because he's wearing makeup, but that didn't work. Doink didn't get anything faded on his face. So that's disappointing, but we could still pick up the fake arm and just start wailing on Ultimate Warrior. So make sure that you're going deep into a match, and then you are going to start getting all the blood sequence happening. Plus, you're going to be able to get that face paint just breaking down, and it makes it look so much better. Speaking of better, they have updated the Bloodline entrance in the game. Now, this could be a good thing for you, or you just don't care anymore because the Bloodline's been going on for years at this point. But something we wanted to see was going to be them fixing the Bloodline entrance. Last year it was wonky with the Titantrons and motion, some stuff just didn't work. Well, now it's almost perfect. If you don't touch anything in your settings or anything at all, and you just want to do a full Bloodline entrance, do a one-on-one match, have Roman Reigns with 3 managers, and you get Paul Heyman, Jey Uso, and Solo Sikoa. And you will get the current standard version of the Bloodline entrance like we saw in 2K23. Now, you can go into the settings into create a team. You can change up the faction for the Bloodline because everything that is standard in there is all default as like painful literature, which is not the correct motion, and it's okay if you don't touch it, they'll come out to the Bloodline. But if you go in there like me and go, oh, they have the Tron, the Bloodline red Tron, you can change it to that, which is cool. However, when I did this, I then set up the one-on-one match. I had Solo and Jimmy be the managers, and Solo takes the spot of Paul Heyman. So it gets a little wonky. Also, I did it a different way, and I had Paul Heyman and Solo coming out like dancing. It got weird, and that's because I messed up the entrance with the Bloodline Titantron. The other option you have with the Bloodline this year is the updated entrance motion, which looks really cool. Do a one-on-one match, and Roman Reigns is gonna have Paul Heyman and Solo as the accompanying managers. Don't touch the settings. I put everything back to default for the entrance motion, so it was all clean and it worked. And this is a really nice one that you're getting with the Tribal Chief and Paul Heyman down at the ring coming in. It's a nice motion that they did. I tested this with double titles, and it doesn't change. So even if I put 2 belts on the line, I had Roman with both belts, Heyman isn't going to do this new motion with both belts and holding them. If you go and just do a one-on-one match with just Paul Heyman as the manager, you get the regular double title entrance motion if Roman has both belts. So lots of different options for Bloodline entrances as we're nearing WrestleMania, where you get The Rock and Roman Reigns all mixing it up in the main event of Mania. But speaking of Rock and Roman, if you want to have a little bit of a breakout sequence, you can do that still, and you can do the breakouts at the entrance ramp. And if you break out long enough and you start wailing each other down on the outside and the thing is going to just dissolve and the match is going to be called off, you do get a really awesome little cutscene sequence there, and you can pull that off in just regular exhibition. Now, we talked about Doink the Clown, Ultimate Warrior, beating each other down and trying to get that face paint breaking off, and you got all the blood in there, and blood is a big topic in this game because people like doing it. But there is fun stuff you can do with the weapons to create like a lot of destruction and a lot of blood. Now, you have all your weapon wheels and everything that is accessible as normal. One of the weapons that I would suggest to you to try out a lot more is going to be the shovel. The shovel in the game doesn't break. So if you want to get your opponent really bloody down and not always have to run out of the ring and grab a chair and grab a kendo stick because they're going to break and you can't use them anymore, grab the shovel. The shovel is infinite power for you, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be able to target the head very easily. Now, I will say this though, because a lot of players, whether it's going to be on PC or PlayStation, and I'm on Xbox for the game, there seems to be a lot of discrepancy for players of getting the blood to work and drip on the mat and stain it, get a lot of blood happening, and players saying it's not happening for them. I played around with multiple different matches to test it to see how to get this to work, and I did notice that there seems to be a difference between the different wrestlers and how long it takes. Some wrestlers I found I was able to bust them open really quickly in the match, like a minute in, and then getting it to get the blood splatter on the mat really only took another few minutes, and I was able to do it by targeting the head and getting the damage down for the head down to like deep red. But when I did this match, a favorite of mine, WrestleMania 17 Triple H versus Undertaker, it took me like 5+ minutes to actually get Undertaker busted open, and I was targeting the head. Like I gave Taker like 6 pedigrees, and I just wailed on his head all day long, and he was not getting busted open. Eventually he did, but it took a super long time for it to happen. And once I did, it just took more and more damage for it, and eventually we started getting the splatter on the mat. So it could depend, it could be glitched, but it could just depend on the wrestlers you're using. Some damage quickly, and some it takes a lot longer. But try that shovel, it's good. Now, another thing that 2K fixed this year, they teased it to us last year like crazy, and they didn't go all the way with it like we wanted them to. I'm talking about the tired finisher animation. In last year's game, we didn't have it at all. You would do a tombstone pile driver on somebody, even if you had no stamina, and you basically be able to just get right back up and then go for the pin as normal. And it's kind of a bummer because that's not the simulation you want. Then they patched it in 2K23 where you could, for example, do a tombstone pile driver, and then he would tip over and be super tired, but he wouldn't crawl and he wouldn't go for the pin. I was like, ah, you're so close, 2K. It's just, you're so close to the finish line. This year, it's fixed, and it's awesome. If you are super tired, do a tombstone pile driver, just slowly turn, and then flick down on the stick to give the pin. If you try and crawl too much or too close, I find, then he'll end up popping back up, and it won't work. So you almost just want to rotate your wrestler very slightly, and then you'll see the prompt for the pin and then go for it. But they do just the one arm across, and if they get the full 3 count, they slowly roll over 2 and they're exhausted. And it's just beautiful. This year too, the rock bottom works as a tired finisher motion with the crawl pin. HBK Shawn Michaels, of course, has sweet chin music. Both versions of sweet chin music from the corner or just standing there with the super kick, they both work for tired finisher motions. The Batista bomb looks great if you're gonna do the tired crawl pin animation. The RKO also does a tired pin, and there are others in the game that will work for this. It just adds so much depth to it, and it just gives you that heightened excitement when you're going through your matches. But the last cool thing that they did add this year is going to be super finishers. And just a quick note, because if you have 3 stored finishers, some wrestlers will have their super finishers available. Check the moves list, you can see exactly where it is, how to pull it off, because not all of them are very clear. You gotta whip them into the corner, and then you'll be able to pull it off, and you get the nice little animation to go with it. One of the great ones is going to be like a super Batista bomb off the top rope. And the other one I didn't realize they added was going to be the pedigree. So for Triple H, I can do like, well, a Pepsi plunge, but I could do an entire giant top rope pedigree to the Undertaker, and I could beat the streak. Thanks for watching. If you guys want more 2K24 videos, click this one right here because we're going through more awesome things you can do in the game. Have a great day. See ya.